Well, certainly in terms of lap times and what we saw on the world feed, you've got to say on Friday in Mexico, Max Verstappen and Red Bull Honda were basically just toying with the opposition. The opposition, of course, being Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes. From the start of practice, when it was really dusty, Max Verstappen looked superb in the Red Bull Honda. And there was a point after about 20 minutes, it was really dusty, there was no grip, when Max and Lewis had almost done the same lap time within a tenth. The problem was Max had done the time on the hard tyre, Lewis on the soft tyre. Now it's very early and we've seen that kind of difference over the course of the year. Quite often the hard tyre is perhaps easier to bring in or perhaps doesn't grain as much as the soft tyre, whatever it is. But you know, that was the first thing that happened. For the same lap time, Max is on the hard tyre, Lewis is on the soft. And then that momentum continued through that Friday session. As they went to the new sets of soft tyres to put in a quick lap, as the track started to pick up grip, Max Verstappen was half a second quicker than Lewis Hamilton. Now, Lewis went out for another run and just went quicker than Max, and Valtteri did as well. But by then, Max had gone back to the set of hards and was doing a long run. I was like, yeah, okay, do whatever you want. I'm going to start doing my race preparation. Could Max and Red Bull continue with that sort of momentum into the afternoon session when the track picked up a lot more grip? There was a bit of oil laid down actually between the two sessions from one of the support races, but that went away and the track did pick up grip and it was a lot quicker in the afternoon. So that's when we really started to see the gloves come off. And on the soft tyre runs with no fuel in the car, Max Verstappen 17.3, Lewis Hamilton 17.8 twice. So you're looking at half a second, a pretty emphatic half a second difference between the two. And relay that to the top speeds of the Mercedes and the Red Bull Honda. Lewis on average, without a tow, doing that sort of lap time, 3:48, 3:46 kilometers an hour. It's a long straight in Mexico. It's high altitude, of course. Max Verstappen, similarly, when he's doing those sorts of lap times, 3:36, 3:39. That's a big difference in top speed between Mercedes and Red Bull Honda. No surprise there, because that's always been the case. Whenever we've had Mercedes in Mexico, it's always been that sort of way. But look at the difference in the lap time now. That's just inherent downforce in the Red Bull Honda. Massive amount of grip that Mercedes don't have. So I think the big talking point after Friday practice in Mexico is, what will Mercedes do overnight? They know they've got that huge top speed advantage. Will they now try to parlay that into increased grip levels for Saturday? And indeed, will Red Bull be thinking that's probably what Mercedes are going to do, so why don't we take off some wing and give ourselves a bit more top speed? We've got a bit of grip level to play with. Of course, it's nothing like that simple, and a million other factors come into play. But overall, just to confirm that, let's have a look at what Mercedes and Red Bull were doing on long runs with fuel in the car. We don't know exactly how much fuel they were running, quite obviously, but one thing's for sure, Max Verstappen had a lot of fuel on board because he was doing really long runs. And Max, 12 laps on the medium tyre, best of 20.9. Lewis, and again, you know, this is just like, it's pushing snowballs uphill at the moment for Mercedes, because they went out on the soft tyre, 21.2, so 3/10, but the tyre obviously went off quicker than the medium did on the Max car. And then Mercedes stopped that run halfway through and went to the hard tyre, 21.4. Valtteri Bottas, by contrast, 21.5 on the soft tyre, and then did a 20.8 on a new set of hards right at the end. So the 20.8, in effect, has made Valtteri fastest on a heavy fuel load, but that's a new set of hards compared with Max's long run on the medium. So again, if you're Max Verstappen and Red Bull, you're thinking, yeah, right, bring it on, bring it on. P3, Pierre Gasly, 21.0 on hard tyres. P4, haven't got to Lewis Hamilton yet. Sergio Perez looking very good, 21.1 on the medium tyre. And finally, Lewis Hamilton, P5 on the long runs, 21.2 on that soft tyre run he did at the beginning of that phase. Just looking at the other trap speeds, you've got Lewis Hamilton, just to confirm that point, 3:48. This is without fuel. Max Verstappen, 3:36. Carlos Sainz, 3:37. So Ferrari about the same top speed as Red Bull at the moment. And Fernando Alonso right there in the Alpine as well, 3:36 top speed. We're talking average takings now for that. So a really good day for Max on a circuit where you would think Mercedes would be saying, as they're looking towards the circuits coming up in this really critical phase now of the World Championship, well, Mexico is a race we've got to win. That's our sort of circuit. Well, if Red Bull are looking this good right now, then it's really going to be a problem now for Mercedes and Lewis Hamilton. Just to go back to the point I've been banging on about all year, which is certainly since Silverstone, which is the effect of the stiffer rear sidewalls on the Pirelli for the Mercedes. I still reiterate everything I've said there, which is that the Mercedes is nearer now to the Red Bull than it was before the stiffer sidewalls came into play. To put it another way, if you take the Austin Grand Prix as a very good example, US Grand Prix, if the US Grand Prix had been round 3 of the World Championship, I think Red Bull probably would have won that by half a lap and not by just a few tenths of a second. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying that the Mercedes has ever been a better car than the Red Bull. All I'm saying is that stiffer rear Pirelli has brought it much nearer to the Red Bull. As I say, the big thing for me is now how Mercedes will react to what happened today on the Friday in Mexico and what changes they'll make to the car for Saturday qualifying, obviously going into the race on Sunday. Just a few other points. McLaren didn't really look to be anywhere today, but I don't think we should read anything into that because that's fairly standard procedure for McLaren these days. They look as if they're sort of Frank Williams mode of just running the thing in race trim as much as they possibly can, which probably explains why they've had so many good races this year. But I'm buoyed, I've got to say, buoyed, if that's the right word, by the news that there is going to be a new McLaren two-seater Formula One car. Can't believe it. It's an MP4 something or other. I think it's with a Mercedes engine. It is with the Mercedes engine, and it's a new two-seater, and Mika Häkkinen's going to be driving it. Can you imagine that? And I think it's going to be at Pebble Beach, Laguna Seca, that is, in a week or so's time, from what I hear. To me, that's the most mega news we've had in a long time. Really, really good to hear that. The other thing, there are a few comments on the channel about my comments Formula One should have done a better job following up after the US Grand Prix and should have hung around a bit longer to promote Miami and just to promote Formula One in the United States. And a few people have been saying, oh, well, the drivers have enough work to do already. How can you expect them to do that? Well, my point is, of course, at short notice, it's not possible. My point is this sort of thing should be built in to the Concord Agreement and the drivers' contracts from minute one. There should be no doubt about it whatsoever. And if for force majeure reasons, whatever, a driver can't do it, there are plenty of substitutes, whether it be a team principal, whether it be others, who can go in and put on a show. I mean, I'm not saying it's got to be the drivers and they've got to do every chat show in America, but I'm just saying they can at least do one each, the top guys, in some parts of America, and I still stand by that. And there's a lot of promotion going into the Mexican Grand Prix, and I think a lot of people will say, isn't it great to see Formula One in Mexico? But my reaction to that is, well, we actually know that, and there was no way this wasn't going to be a mega race for Sergio Perez and his fans and Mexico who love Formula One anyway. What we needed to do was capitalize on what happened in Austin and really make Formula One even bigger in the United States. So I just wanted to say that because I think a few people probably got the wrong end of the stick in terms of my point that I was trying to make there. So to sum up, I think the key issue from Friday is what are Mercedes going to do now? They have a bit of room with which to play, call it top speed advantage. Will they use that top speed to get more overall grip and thus close the gap a little bit to Red Bull Honda? We'll see tomorrow, and I'll see you then.